Hi Gemini, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I am going to be doing your March 2021 full moon reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and also to subscribe to my channel. And if you would like to be notified whenever I upload new videos, and I upload all the time, just hit the bell notification button. And if you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading and clear the energy space, once again a reminder not to be scammed by anybody in the description box pretending to be me offering you a reading. This person is not me. They are a scammer. Do not be scammed. With that said, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. All right. Let's let the bowl sing as we see what the tarot has to say. How will Gemini be affected by the March 2021 full moon? How will Gemini be affected by the March 2021 full moon? How will Gemini be affected by the March 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels. Angels and spirit guides, angels. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Oh, okay, that one goes there. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. And spirit guides, angels. Fantastic. Excuse me. And now let's see what our chakra energy is for this time. Gemini. March 16th. No. How will Gemini be affected by the March 2021 full moon? There we go. How will Gemini be affected by the March 2021 full moon? How will Gemini be affected by the March 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Fantastic. Just that one. Awesome. And then the spiritual guidance card. How will Gemini be affected by the March 2021 full moon? How will Gemini be affected by the March 2021 full moon? How will Gemini be affected by the March 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. Now the left-hand side is the inner self, the middle is the heart, the emotional self, the right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. And we're going to, of course, see how the tarot correlates to everything that the moon has to offer us, what our chakra is saying, our spiritual guidance is saying, and how everything plays together. So we start off here with the Ace of Cups. So we have a gift coming in, and we have the Queen of Swords coming forward, which is us in the minor arcana. So in the minor arcana, we are represented by the swords. In the major arcana, we are represented by the lovers. So there's a gift that's coming just for us, and it's really embracing the kind of sacred feminine way of being, but also the introspective way. I see the queens as being like the directors behind the scenes, and the kings as being the actors upon the stage. We then have the Page of Pentacles. So this gift has us really embracing our power, but also being a student of our money, of how we, can move forward in life towards what we want, towards what we desire. And then we have the King of Swords coming forward. I love that. So there's a power. There's a power to us, Gemini, that is just extraordinary. That really is extraordinary. So whenever I have the King and the Queen from the same suit in the same deck, coming together, it is a soulmate connection, a true love connection. There is something here that it's either a breakthrough that's going to happen. It's a powerful way forward, and this moon is really bringing it. So it's intense. It can be that, some of us find love. It can be that some of us find what we love, and it's just an extraordinary way forward. It brings us to the Ace of Swords because things get better. This is crowning the inner self here. So we have emotions and we have knowledge. This is the heart. And so crowning the heart is the Ace of Swords, and it's knowledge and understanding. It brings the Ten of Cups. Dreams start coming true. The Ten of Wands. We're learning how to release burdens, and it brings the Queen of Wands, this sense of power and connection and fire and determination. We have the Queen of Pentacles, like all the queens are just showing up. We just need the Queen of Cups, right? So here, the Queen of Pentacles is a sense of prosperity. In the public arena, we're really taking charge of prosperity, of what we desire, of the power to move forward in where we want to be. And it's kind of like I'm not being pushed around by anybody else. This moon really has us claiming our power. The Four of Swords comes forward, right? And there's this sense of needing to look at the hurts, the pains, the wounds that we have been through. The Emperor is Aries energy. The Sun is in Aries. The Sun is direct parallel to where the moon is. The moon is in Libra. So the Sun in Aries, the moon in Libra. This can cause a bit of conflict within us, but it also causes really great power to come forward. So we then end with the Eight of Cups, and the Eight of Cups is walking away from what we once thought we would love. It's kind of like, I thought I was content. I thought I was happy here, but now I'm seeing that there is so much more that the world has to offer me. And that's really what we're saying to ourselves. It's not that we're being greedy. It's not that we're being, egotistical. It's that, wow, I undersold myself. And we're coming to that realization. And it can be that we did this throughout life, We set ourselves up in safe places and in things that really didn't test us too much. And it was divinity that had to give us tower times. It had to throw us out of our comfort zone. And now we're finding that we're walking away from what we had once either envisioned in our heads or had been going after, and we're doing something much more authentically us. So that is super extraordinary. That is extraordinary. So how this all correlates, I know a bit of the Sun, a bit of astrology came up with the Sun, and the Sun, of course, is in Aries. And at this time, we're going to have Venus, the Sun, and Chiron in Aries. Excuse me. They're all going to be aligned, right? So it gives them that Aries energy to them, and it is the fact that Chiron is the wounded warrior, and this is bringing up past wounds, which we see here in the public arena, and it has to do with finances and prosperity. It's kind of like almost like I've been wounded before, I've been hurt, I failed, so there is a sense of I don't get to succeed, and that's what we're shattering during this time. And as this power comes forward, as Chiron highlights, is highlighted by the Sun and is highlighting our wounds and our disappointments, we're going to see that Venus comes in also highlighted by the Sun and saying, no, but this is my nurturing, this is my love. And Libra is ruled by Venus. So where in Aries we want to claim our independence, with Libra, we want to put everything in balance. So for Gemini, this isn't going to be as much as a juggling act as it is going to be for other signs, because Gemini, we're very used to, two ways of looking at things, two sides of every story. That's very much the Gemini way. So here we're surrendering to divine power, and that's always what the full moon is all about. It's surrendering to the divine power of what is needed, of what we want, of how we want to move forward. And during this time with Mercury and Neptune in Pisces, this is telling us to get out of our own heads and to forgive and to heal, especially ancestral hurts, especially traumas to the DNA, past life hurts. These are going to be things that we're focusing on and that we're healing from. And when when Libra says here a win-win outcome is forecast, it's because we're balancing the scales. We're putting things in honor and in harmony. But because of this time with the sun in Aries, because of the intensity around us, we're not going to want to sit back. It's not going to be the Libra love for everybody, is going to come forward, but it's going to be not at the expense of me. So we're putting things in balance. A win-win outcome comes because, yes, we're connecting with everybody else, but we're also connecting with ourselves. And during this time, the moon makes a perfect triangle with Saturn and with Mars. And this is called a grand trine. And what this brings is it brings protection and harmony and ease. And with Mars and Saturn, they're immensely intense planets. So this gives us determination and motivation and staying power, which for Gemini, that's a really good thing because we're kind of digging our heels in and we're saying, well, this is what I want. And people are going to look at us and be like, yeah, well, this is what you want this minute, but you're going to change your mind. And they're going to be rather surprised because we're not going to change our minds. We're going to be looking at things and saying, no, this is what I want. This is where I'm headed. This is what I'm going after. And yes, the polarization of the sun and the moon come together, but the moon reflects the sun's light. So it reflects this determination, this focus. And we're going to find that during this time with the moon's alignment, there are going to be 4 planets that are really hit and really impacted by this moon tremendously. And it's going to be Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. And why this is said is because wherever these are in your chart, they're going to kind of be heightened a little bit. The personality is going to be heightened. So just be mindful of this. Also, this is a time when we need inner security. We need to also embrace our inner sensuality and say, this is what I desire from my life and how I want to move forward. And this moon is astoundingly friendly and astoundingly, polite, but we're not going to extend that friendliness and that politeness to everybody because there is the sense of I need boundaries and I need borders and I need things to be understood and I need to be fair to myself. And as we're being fair to ourselves, the soul is being called to surround ourselves with beautiful things. And Gemini, one of the great joys of a Gemini is collecting beautiful things, even if we just have them for a moment and they get handed on as gifts to somebody else. Having these beautiful things come into our life and give us kind of a sense of purpose and focus and just extravagance is going to be so important. Now it moves us to the new moon, which is on the 12th of April. And the new moon is a new start is coming. It's kind of like we're looking at things with a new light and it brings beginnings. And what it says here with this new moon, of course, is in Aries. So this Aries energy is so powerful around us. It says it's time to take action. It's time to charge forward. It's time to say, but this is what I want. And really mean it, because people have a tendency with Geminis to go, yeah, again, this is what you want this minute, but you're going to change your mind. And they're going to be super surprised when what is found is real determination and real focus and ways of looking at different side of things and ways of pulling things together, and that there is this sense of commitment. And that's going to be rather beautiful. It really is, because for the Gemini who can see 2 sides of the story, who can, who can embrace the duality. A lot of times people think, oh, okay, well, that just leaves us neutral. Well, no, it doesn't. It means that we're taking in the information. We might one day take in all the information that seems rather like, extravagant, and then all the information that seems rather, very structured and formed, and we're making something beautiful with it. And this moon has those 2 polarizing aspects that are really actually helping us to become more centered and more focused within ourselves, within what we want, within where we're headed. And we can see that with the inner self coming through so extremely powerfully in alignment with Gemini. And so this leads us to the spirit animal message, which is for March. And I know we're only in March for a little bit with the full moon, but it brings us to the wolf spirit and to the whale spirit. And the whale spirit says, trust the great mysteries. We don't have to know everything. And that's also going to be very liberating. We're not going to have to figure it out. Because one of the things that Geminis love to do is they love to figure it out. And they might have a problem and they try to solve it, and we kind of come back to it and go from it. But it'll always be something that we come back to. During this time, there's going to be a sense of, I don't need to know everything. And I can't know everything. And that's okay. And this also leads us to embracing the vibrational energy of the world, because of the whale song and the vibrational energy of the whale song. And so here, it's like, listen to your inner voice and connect with the power of our emotions. And as we do so, we're also connecting with whales that are the record keeper of our earth. And we're connecting with the vibrational energy of creation and existence and power and understanding. And it leads us with the wolf spirit to turning knowledge into wisdom. And that's what life is all about. It's about turning the knowledge that we accumulate over time into the wisdom that we live by. And this has a sense of sharpening our intellect. And we have these deep connections with our need for freedom and our instincts and our desires and the way that we want to move forward. We're also deeply connected and deeply aware of the space that we're claiming within the world, but also our hierarchy within the world, where we fall. Now, we might kind of rebel against it and say, oh, that's not me, that's not where I want to be, but we're also going to be aware of it and what needs to change or what needs to be embraced and how we get to move forward. This then leads us to the spirit animals of April, which of course keeps the wolf spirit and then also adds the hawk spirit in replacement of the whale. So this says, let spirit be your guide. And spirit needs to be our guide because spirit sees clearer and has a better understanding of things than we could ever. And the hawk spirit is the messenger spirit of the world. So where we had the record keeper, now we have the messenger coming forward. Excuse me. And this is connecting us with freedom and with a sense of focus and clear vision and increased spiritual awakening and awareness. And it's like, I want to soar free within this world. How do I let myself? Because both of these are focusing on the freedom of independence and self and what we desire. And it brings us to our chakra card. And our chakra energy, which is balance. And that's so apropos. This is the root chakra. The root of us is needing to find balance. And that's what Libra energy is all about. But that can also be what Gemini energy is all about. How to find balance within the immense curiousness of the world, within the immense, knowledge and understanding that we are accumulating and sifting through and questioning and redefining. And so we're finding balance within ourselves, for ourselves, what we desire and where we need to be and who it is that we are. So balance is going to be so important, and we can easily feel ourselves being pulled out of balance one way or the other. And it leads us then to the spiritual guide card, which is Goddess, which is really connecting with the inner goddess that is a part of us. And that's why we have the Queen coming up so many times. The Queen is saying, connect with the femininity, connect with the spiritual, connect with what we desire and what we might think is not a part of the spiritual. We might think that the spiritual has to be hard and unyielding, but the goddess is saying, let it be fluid, let it be calm, let it be sensual and beautiful, and let it be a part of the innate self. And so we move here to the Ace of Cups. And the Ace of Cups is a gift coming forward. And we were crowned with two gifts of emotions. Well, one is of emotions, one is of the mind. But we're crowned with the two that we can't physically hold on to. So here with the Queen, with the Ace of Cups, we're looking at things in our inner self. And we're feeling a lot of the negativity, a lot of what has the world, I don't know if others see it this way, but it's what makes the world kind of blur at the edges, just a bit gray. And it's when life gets sad. It's when things get overwhelming. And it's like our memories kind of become blurred with a bit of gray, and things become overwhelming in that manner. And this is looking at that hurt and that pain and that discomfort, and it's starting to let it wash away. It's not getting rid of it. It will come back, as pain always does. But it's starting to say, look at this. Look at this information. Look at this healing. Look at this power. It's setting you free. It's helping you find your voice. It's helping you claim what is desired, that harmony, that truth. And that's what we need during this time. We need this kind of embracing of love and this cleansing of emotions and where we want to be within our lives and how we want to move forward and what our heart says and what we deeply want. And it leads us to the Queen of Swords. It leads us to ourselves. And it leads us in that goddess way, in that sacred feminine way, to connecting with what we're holding on to. This is also how the planets affect us and how, our emotions affect our world and how it is we're trying to move things. And if we're trying to, play a certain game and say, oh, I have to be this way or I have to be that way. It's like, no, I just have to be. I have to be me, openly, honestly, truthfully. Because the Queen of Swords is the one queen that holds a weapon. She's the one queen that it takes time and effort to really embrace her craft. And so a sword cannot just be picked up and used. We can easily hurt ourselves with it if we do. But a sword has to be learned. And a sword signifies nobility. It signifies, status and wealth and power. And so we're embracing the status, this wealth, this power within ourselves. It might not be the one that brings forward financial gain instantaneously, but it is the one that starts to align ourselves with our particular skills, with what it is that we're good at. And it starts to bring that to light, and it starts to bring that forward more and more. And it's like, oh, this is me. This is what I want from life. This is what I desire. This is what I see more clearly. And this gets to be what moves me forward in a very open, honest, and real way. And so the Queen of Swords is embracing that element of the mind, that element of knowledge, of embracing the voice and the breath, and really filling up space within our existence and saying, this is me, and I get to stand here. And then it brings us to being students of our prosperity, being students of what we desire. Inwardly, we're saying, okay, well, how can I change this? How can I tweak this? How can I make myself more successful? Or how can I make myself, embody the world that I want to live in? We also have to be realistic. We can't sit there and say, I want to go from rags to riches overnight. But as we're looking at things, we're looking at different ways that things connect. And we're looking at different ways that we connect with our dreams and our hopes and our desires, but also with our minds. Because as we're looking at things and as we're taking on new ideas and as we're opening up new doors and gaining greater understanding, it leads us to the King of Swords. It leads us to us being the king of ourselves. And this is the sacred masculine energy coming forward. And this is saying, this is it. This, I am the warrior queen, I am the warrior king. This is the time where I have the healing coming, where I have the greater knowledge coming. This is a time where inwardly we're going to be very kind of studious about things. We're going to seek greater knowledge, greater understanding, ask deeper questions. But this is a time also when we're taking no bull. We really aren't. It's like, this is what I want. This is where I'm headed. This is what I desire. This is what I've trained for. This is what I've walked through the muck and the mire for. And this is what I'm embracing within myself. And there isn't going to be any holding things back. There isn't going to be any, kind of tiptoeing around things. It's going to be, this is what I need. This is what I want. And the ferocity of this might even surprise us at times, because we're so used to kind of saying, okay, this is what I want. This is what I need. This is what I desire. But what does everybody else think? Is that okay? How does that look? Is that right? And this is going to be a time where it's like, I don't care what you think. Not in a rude way, but in a way that I have to do this, right? This gets to be my life. And I'm going to do this powerfully, openly, honestly, courageously. And so this warrior king and queen aspect of us, this warrior ruler, is coming forward, and it's taking charge, and it leads us to really being given a gift within the heart of the Ace of Swords. And it's so funny that the inner self is crowned with the gift of emotions, right? And the emotional self is crowned with the gift of knowledge. So here it would excuse me, it would have fit very, very well to have the gift of knowledge come and then the Queen of Swords and the King of Swords. But it's like, as we have this emotional gift come forward, and as we have the emotions clearing and we have ourselves understanding things better, the sense of stepping into our power, claiming our warrior spirit and saying, this is me, leads to a gift coming into the heart and saying, this is my knowledge, this is my truth, This is what I desire. This is what I need. And this is how I need to move forward. And if I can't do this, then I can't be me. And so there is going to be the sense of urgency around this time. It's like I'm opening up a door that needs to be walked through. I'm seeing something that needs to be seen. And at times we don't want to see it. We just don't. We're going to sit there in our emotional understanding or in ourselves and say, "Ooh, well, that's not very nice. Like, why can't I close that door?" Or that's not something I wanted to become aware of. But it's going to be invaluable, and it's going to be a game changer, and it's going to be empowering in a way that we didn't expect. And so this gift of knowledge is coming through, and it's going to cut through so many of the doubts and the fears and the angers and the resentments that we've held or that we've held, and that we think, well, it's my fault. Well, it's not your fault. And even if it was, it's done. So let's move forward. And let's embrace something so much more than what we could ever have realized we could have. And it brings us then to the Ten of Cups. It brings us to when they all live happily ever after. It brings us to a place of beauty. It brings us to a place of serenity. It brings us to a place of looking at what we want in life, not what everybody else wants. You know, I look at this card and I think the people who are perfectly happy living in cities, and the people who are perfectly happy living in the country, and the people who love animals, and the people who don't, and, you know, all the contrasts in the world. But it's somebody's bliss. It's somebody's happiness. And the Ten of Cups is saying, follow your happiness. Take responsibility. Yes, life is hard. It will break us more often than not. But there is beauty, and there is power, and there is grace, and there is determination here. Embrace it. Let it be a part of you. This is walking off into the sunset in that beautifully happy way, in that way that we know our lives are worth something. And we know that there's peace here. And it brings us to the Ten of Wands. It's like, I get to have this happiness, right? All of a sudden, there's this shift, and I get to have this. And it brings us to the Ten of Wands. Well, I can't be carrying everybody else's crap, excuse my language, but I can't be. I can't be, holding everybody else's burdens and, trying to make everything perfect for everyone. Somebody's going to wind up being disappointed, and usually it's me. So I'm going to stop. And this is a time where we actually stop. And we stop being so weighed down by everything that we can only see our feet. We can only see the ground, the mud, the sorrow. We can't look up. It's time to look up, to turn our face towards the sun, and to say, this is it. Because the repeat of the number 10 here, well, this shows us that we've come to a completion of a cycle, emotionally, okay, and creatively. It's like, this is a game-changing time. This is a time where things aren't going to be the same, and we're not going to look at things the same, and we don't want to. This is a time where more is coming forward. And we have to let people carry their burdens, learn their lessons, understand their path. We can't take it from them. If you watch this channel, if you're part of this family, you're most likely empathic, all right? And that's a beautiful thing. It really is. But it's also a really hard thing. It hurts. We just want to take everybody's pain away. We just want to make everything better. We're also really great at being, beacons for narcissists to come in and hurt us and try to destroy us. And so here, when we're looking at things, especially with the Ten of Wands, it's like, no, I'm not carrying everybody's burden. No, I'm not, being everybody's punching bag. I have worth. I have power. And it's time to let my dreams shine. It's time to let my voice shine. It's time to let me step forward. And that leads us to the Queen of Wands. And it leads us to a power that most people overlook. The Queen of Wands, I always think of Hestia, who is my favorite Greek goddess. She's the one who looked at Olympia, and said, Mount Olympus, there we go, Mount Olympus, and said, I don't need to be a main goddess. I don't want another war. Because everybody had just finished fighting the Titans, and now they were going to fight between each other because there were not the equal amount of gods and goddesses. And she's like, no, I'm going to step down. And because she stepped down, because she took her power, and she said, it's worth more to me. I'm worth more to me than petty violence and, needing to be seen as something grandiose. She became the goddess worshipped in every single home of Greece and Rome. And so here, it's like there is power in not necessarily being seen. There is power in embracing the purpose of our souls and our essence and ourselves without having to call to the world. No, I do apologize. And we're embracing this power openly, honestly, and purposefully. And it's not being afraid to get our hands dirty, not being afraid to go after what it is that we want, not being afraid of seeing what we desire. And saying, I understand you, world. I get it. But I also understand me in a beautiful, powerful, succinct way. And it brings us to the Queen of Pentacles. So it's like, as we claim our passion, as we claim our determination, it brings us to our prosperity, our wealth, our bounty, of what we desire, of where we want to be. It's like, this gets to be me. I get to be more. And it's in the public arena. It's like, I get to call forward wealth. I get to call forward bounty into my life. I get to look at things and nurture the seeds that I want to grow. This is a time where inwardly, we're the student. We're looking at things. We're questioning. We're diving deeper. We're seeing things differently. And the Queen of Pentacles is saying, okay, inwardly, I know I'm doing all of this. I'm doing all the work. But I'm planting the seeds. I'm going after what I want. People are seeing me as a powerful, determined figure during this time. And I'm not going to be held back. This is a time where we start to stand up straighter. And we might actually find that our backs hurt us a little bit because we're going to be utilizing muscles that we haven't used before, in some way or another. But I'm just seeing that from divinity, and it's really funny. So here it's like, no, I'm claiming my power. I'm claiming my strength. I'm claiming my prosperity. And there is nothing that's going to stop me. And what's going to come in is the mind is going to say, yeah, but remember all the times you failed. Well, that's good. Everybody fails. The Four of Swords is coming forward and saying, honor it. Honor all the heartbreaks, all the pains, all the disappointments, all the way that we've fallen and doubted and feared and cried and lost. Honor it. And then, through that honor, see how far we've come. And that's what we're doing. Somebody will try to tell us we can't be successful because XYZ, right? We can't be successful because, there's too much that we've lost before. And they can say whatever they want. We know the determination of ourselves. We know what we're going after. And that's what matters. And it brings us to the Emperor. It brings us to really embracing, in the public arena, we're a force. I mean, and I'm not saying that just to say it. It's like we're taking this energy of Aries and we're focusing it to a laser focus, to a powerful extent. And we're seeing this passion, this determination, this fire drive us. We're seeing us become more than what we expected. And we're looking at what we want. And this is a time where it's kind of like we don't need to be center stage. And that's true. But with the sacred masculine coming forward, with the king coming forward, and then the emperor who embodies all the kings, we are center stage, even though we don't need to be. We are seen even though we don't need to be seen. We are heard, even though we don't need to be heard. And this is a time where we find ourselves really embracing power, really embracing determination, really looking at things and saying, this is what I want, this is where I'm headed, this is where I'm going, period. End of the discussion. And it's claiming a throne. It's claiming a throne that we didn't think ourselves worthy of sitting on. And it's claiming a voice and a power that we needed to claim. And it's not being the world gobbler. It's not sitting there and saying, I have to conquer the whole entire world. It's saying, I need to stand in confidence in where I am right now and build the steps to get to where I want to be. And then the Eight of Cups, with that confidence, comes us walking away from what we once thought we would love. There's something here that isn't ending. And we might be sad about it. But I really am feeling like we're rather relieved. It's like, oh, I don't have to pretend anymore. I don't have to pretend. It's kind of like eating something we don't like, right? You pretend that you like it because the person cooked it for you, and you're like, oh, thank you. But because we made that lie, now we have to eat it like all the time. It's like, oh my gosh, please no. So here we're walking away from it. It's like, no, I don't like it. I don't want it. And I'm being honest about what I want and what I like and where I stand and who I am and what I want for my life. And that changes so much. And it's also courage. It takes courage. Endings are not bad things. We tend to think of endings as bad things. But sometimes when the ending comes, it's sad and it hurts. And we might not have been the one that really ended it. But now we get to take our power and walk away from it and say, all right, lesson learned, understood. Now I get to move forward towards more. And I get to be more than I thought. And that's the extraordinary thing here, is that we're becoming more than we thought we could be. So let's see what Luna has to say. Gemini. March. How will Gemini be affected by the March 2021 full moon? How will Gemini be affected by the March 2021 full moon? How will Gemini be affected by the March 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. And show me clearly, angels. And spirit guides, angels. And spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. No, I'm so sorry. Okay. How will Gemini be affected by the March 2021 full moon? How will Gemini be affected by the March 2021 full moon? How will Gemini be affected by the March 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. And show me clearly, angels. And spirit guides, angels. And spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. The path, fruition, resilience, change. Nothing will come of this situation. That's a tricky one. Communication is key. A fiery climax approaches. The hard work pays off. Your commitment is being tested. So this whole time, what the moon is saying is like, I'm going to test you. What you think is going to happen isn't going to happen. So that can make us feel upset, frustrated, annoyed. But what we have here is we have the path. The path forward, it isn't easy. It takes faith, right? It takes determination. It takes focus. But as we embrace that faith and that focus, we start to see that as we climb that ladder, as we, look at things differently, we bring to fruition what it is that we most greatly desire. We start to bring to fruition what it is that we're studying, what it is that we're learning, what it is that we have studied and learned and discovered about ourselves. And that shows us that we are so much more resilient than we ever thought, because we carry our world tree on our back. We carry our hopes and our dreams and our desires, and we start to see ourselves embracing it more openly, more honestly, more powerfully than we had thought before. And that brings forward change. And that has us changing. It's change that we didn't think possible. It's change that starts to open up doors. It's change that redefines us. And it's like, okay, that change comes, and we think we know what we're expecting, but nothing will come of the situation. The void, of course, is like, what you think is going to happen isn't going to happen. So you can lay the best plans down that you possibly could, and they will all blow to the wind. So don't be surprised if at this time, during this moon, the best laid plans always seem to go awry, and you're going to look at it and be like, rude and frustrating, and what the heck is going on here? And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, that's it, isn't it? I'm moving towards something more. I'm discovering what I need. And then it brings us to the fact that communication is key. We need to communicate with ourselves what we want. We need to communicate with what we're looking for, what we desire. And it brings us, and communication is just key to Gemini. That's why it's the new moon in Gemini. There's like a new way, that's it. It's the new way of us looking at it that is changing the game. And the communication with what we want and where we're headed and what we want to see is key to our survival, to really expanding the way that we want to expand. And it says a fiery climax approaches. Yes, things start to come to a head. We start to take no bull and to say, this is what I want and this is where I'm headed. And it brings us then to the new moon in Capricorn, right? This is the full moon in Aries. And it says your hard work pays off. So we have strong Aries energy coming through. And now we have our hard work paying off. It's like, finally, this is what I've been working towards. And then your commitment is tested. So as your hard work pays off, it's like, are you still interested? Because there's something as things pay off that we're walking away from. And it's like, are we still on the same path? Do we still have the same dreams? Or did the dreams change? Did they become more realistic? Did they lose their childish idealism? Did they change completely? And it's like, I always thought I would live in the city and now I'm going to live in the country type of thing. And did we boil down to the essence of what we really want? And during this time, a lot of those answers are going to be yes. Yeah, I see things a lot more clearly now. And it leads us to the subconscious Luna message of beauty, of seeing beauty in the world where we didn't see it before. We have the face here, the outline of the face, the lips, the nose, the eyes, the eyebrow. The beauty within nature, but the beauty of our nature, of what we want, of who we are. And also beauty is just going to be so important during this time in our lives. It's like, I want to be surrounded by beautiful things. I want to be surrounded by beautiful people. I want to be surrounded, and it's not like externally beautiful people, though some people might, but it's internally beautiful people. I want the quality, not the quantity. I want the quality. That's really what we're going to be focusing on. And it leads us to again, the Luna message. And it says, look at the bigger picture and take aim. Look at the bigger picture and take aim at what we want. And it brings us then to the subconscious chakra message, which is forgiveness, which is what Mercury and Neptune in Pisces is having us do. It's having us forgive. And this is the heart chakra. It's having us forgive what we cannot change. It's having us forgive what has happened and how we had dealt with things and how we had been manipulated or used or, when we didn't rise to the occasion. It's like, okay, I forgive it. And now I move forward. I move forward to what I want, to what I see within my soul, to what my heart longs for. And it leads us to our subconscious spirit-guided message, which is balance, which is finding the balance within our world, finding the balance within ourselves, looking at things more openly, more honestly, more beautifully for us. And it's saying that this time, this moon, which is in Libra, which is all about finding our balance and understanding our balance and knowing what that means, and not being caught up in finding balance for everybody else and forgetting ourselves. That we're starting to find harmony, and we're starting to know peace. And it brings us to our subconscious tarot message, which is the King of Wands. And now you have the King and the Queen of Passion coming forward. Both not afraid to roll up their sleeves. Both not afraid to get their hands dirty for what they want. Not in a negative way, but in a very positive way, like planting the trees. Connecting with the earth. This is a time where our passion is called forward. This is a time where our fire is lit. This is a time where there is this need to create. Don't let this time pass us by, because we'll regret it. Utilize it. Create, become, discover, understand. Make beauty, just a little bit of beauty, every single day. And you will find that it starts to shape you. It's like you shape the beauty, yes, but the beauty also shapes you. And that becomes the extraordinary thing. All right, Gemini. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace our passion, as we embrace our knowledge, as we know ourselves more deeply than we had known ourselves in a long time. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Oh, and we embrace the balance within our chakras, within ourselves. So again, take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Gemini.